Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this all-new edition of the Milford Informer. I am Tim Coed. We hope everyone out there had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Now the mad rush for holiday gift shopping has begun. We invite you to take a little break and enjoy what we have coming up for you tonight. We've got local sports covered from a number of angles this evening. Let's show you what we mean as we present tonight's top stories rundown. Tonight, hear from several Milford High School student athletes who recently signed their letters of intent to continue their athletic careers at the college level. Also tonight, enjoy one last glimpse of high school football as we present highlights from last week's Thanksgiving game against Randolph. And also tonight, we start to get you ready for the winter sports season with a preview of the Lady Scarlet Hawks basketball team. For most high school seniors, this time of year is crunch time for getting college plans figured out. Recently, a small group of athletes over at Milford High School saw their higher education plans become official as each student signed their letter of intent for their school of choice. I had a chance to catch up with that group of students to find out more about their upcoming college plans.
So yes, talking about our three letter of intent signers, our three student athletes that committed. Ryan, Allie, Maggie, really, exactly what you're looking for in student athletes. They're seniors, they've worked hard. I've been able to observe them for 3 years. One thing I want to clarify for our viewers and your viewers are that, yes, we have more people signing, but there's basically two open periods. There's a November open period for certain sports, and then there's a February open period for certain sports where you have to, you can sign your letter of intent. And then there's folks that are committing to Division III where they will just commit, and then we'll capture that all at the end of the year. But related to Ryan, Allie, and Maggie, I think the term special with all three of them is very clear and evident if you've ever seen them play or any of the viewers have seen them play.
I first got started with golf from my grandfather at Maplegate Country Club when I was probably about 8 years old, but I didn't really start playing a lot, every day, 36 holes until probably 7th, 8th grade, right before heading into high school. It's definitely been a privilege to put Milford Golf back on the map. I don't think a lot of people knew about that Milford even had a golf team before me and my other captain, Anthony Arcudi, were here. But I definitely think walking around school, people know our record, 11-5. They know best season in Milford golf history. Feels good. Ryan
reminds me of, and I say this with a chuckle, of really just who I've always wanted to be when it comes to a golfer. I golf, I try to golf, and the kid at age 17, 18 can hit par. He can be 3, 4, 5, 6 below par. On these championship golf courses, he's just fun to watch. He's calm, he's under control, he's mentally tough, he's physically tough. And he's committed. He flies around the country and plays in tournaments all year long. He really can't be a 2 or a 3 sport athlete, which we would like to, have him be, but he just can't. He's got to be committed to what he's doing. So, the fact that he's signed with the University of Hartford, we're really excited for him, and I'm excited where he's going, and I'm definitely going to be watching to see how he progresses over the next couple of years. That is a really big golf, college in the country. So he's a top recruit, so I'm excited to see where he's going.
From the start, it was always, I want to go down south, I want to be in the warm weather, but as it got closer to the time where I'm actually going to go to school, I realized that I'm a hometown kid and just wanted to kind of stay close and see if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and I'll still do what I'm going to do. But Hartford was, from the start, my number one, even from down south or up here. One of my dad's good friends coached there a while back. Jerry Kelly, who plays on the PGA Tour, played at Hartford. The golf courses are amazing. They're right across the street. Academics are good. And when I went there for my visit, the kids on the team, I really found myself fitting in there really well.
Allie Atherton, I talk about this legendary game, last year where it was the first inning. We're playing one of the top level teams. She throws a pitch, girl hits a home run, it's 1-0. Allie just looks at the bench and I see her face and I know we're going to win the game, and it's the first inning. She's just got this quiet grit to her that is just, You can't manufacture that.
One of my best friends, Sam Bonvino, she graduated when I was a freshman. I played with her freshman year, and she ended up going to Franklin Pierce to play softball, and that's in the NE10, the division that I'm going to play in. So I talked with her a lot over the summer before I finally committed last summer about like the school. It's about Southern New Hampshire. She was familiar with the coach because she had played against her, and she knew the school well. She knew a couple of the girls there, so I was really getting to know the NE10 itself and the school through her.
She's a kid who could go as far as her hard work and her determination is going to take her. I'm really excited for her and what her future holds.
Southern New Hampshire, it's like an average size school. It was really a good fit for me. It's right in Manchester, so kind of like in a little city. I really like that part of it. And they play in the NE10, so the Northeast 10. They play a lot of schools in like New Hampshire, Connecticut, and then some Mass schools. And they really compete every year. They almost make it to the super regionals, and they lost 2 years in a row, I think. They win like the Northeast 10 division, so they're always competing, and I really like that aspect of the school. Maddie Barone from Silver Lake, the pitcher who we faced, we beat them, they beat us over and over again. But she'll be pitching there too. She's there right now. I really don't know her personally at all. I think we're both very serious at the games. Like we both knew that we were going to SNHU last time I played her, but it's not like we like interacted at all. But she seems nice. People say she's nice. I think we'll be fine. I mean, it's just friendly competition at the end of the day.
Maggie's very similar to Allie. They're definitely, actually all three of them, if you think about it, they're just these quiet leaders. They lead by example. They remind me a lot of Larry Bird, where they don't have to be rah-rah and scream and yell, and they will bark at their teammates when they need to. But for the most part, you just have to watch them in practice. You watch them compete. And, as in your interview, I was listening, Maggie, Allie comes up with that perfect pitch when she needs to. Maggie just always finds a way to get a hit, and usually it's a home run when she needs to, when we need her. We're down 3-2 and the bottom of the sixth or the top of the seventh or something. And Maggie, very similar. I know they're different sports, but everybody knows Larry the legend. She just finds a way to get it done, and she's just fun to watch.
I first started playing softball when I was about 6 or 7 years old. My dad coached my older sister's softball team, and he would always let me and my younger sister, she's only a year younger than me, go to her practices and kind of like play catch with like each other and like take a little ground balls and some fly balls, and we just loved like being able to go with my sister and him, and then we ended up just like falling in love with the sport. It was amazing. My freshman year, I was kind of like a swing player on my club team, the East Coast Force, and sophomore year I actually was on the team, and like we were required to contact coaches and visit colleges, and that was when I started the process. But it wasn't actually until the summer going into this year that I really got looked at and like got really serious about playing in college and talking to college coaches about going there and playing for them. So it didn't really happen until the summer of this year that it got like really serious for me.
St. A's is kind of finding a pipeline here at Milford, and a lot of schools will do that. They'll recognize a program, and they'll create this highway from your high school to their college. And St. Anselm's is definitely manufacturing that.
I did a visit there with Jill Powers, who goes there now, and their softball coach. And I love the campus. It's beautiful. It's all very close together, and I really like that. And like the field is just amazing. The whole thing is very nice. I loved it. They're a very competitive team. I spoke to the coach. She has been building up the program a lot. She is very excited for this past. They had a fall season that she was very excited, I know, for this year and their upcoming spring season. And she like works really hard into building up their softball program to make it as successful as it is.
The three of them, what I really like about them is they're quiet leaders. They're excellent athletes, but they're great role models for their peers. It's just, they're great students, they're great student athletes, and they're just great kids to watch at any point in time when they're competing. And that's what you hope for. We talk about creating great athletes, but we also want to build great people. And they have definitely they've definitely done that for the town of Milford and Milford Athletics, and we're just really proud of them and where they're going.
As you heard from Athletic Director Peter Boucher, this is just the first wave of official college commitments from MHS. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the school year as other student athletes make their future college plans official. Moving on now, we do have some sports highlights for you on the Informer this week. Last Thursday, the Scarlet Hawks football team officially brought the fall sports season to a close with their first home Thanksgiving football game in 3 years. For the second year in a row, Milford matched up with non-conference Randolph for this holiday morning battle. Without further ado, let's take a look at our final football highlights of 2016. On Thanksgiving morning, the Scarlet Hawks football team prepared to take their home field one final time, hoping to end their season on a positive note. Prior to the game, the school paid homage to the senior members of the football team, cheerleading squad, and the marching band, and then it was on to the business at hand as Milford welcomed in the Randolph Blue Devils. On the opening drive of the game, Randolph would make an aggressive decision to keep their offense on the field on 4th down from their own 42. The decision would pay off as quarterback DeMarco Durham would find freshman Derek Revelis over the middle, and Revelis would use his speed to streak inside Milford territory on what would be a 34-yard gain. Later in the drive, Randolph would go for it on 4th down again, but this time Jack Capoletti was there to make the interception, and he'd return the ball back out to the Milford 20. Meanwhile, the Milford offense has become more of a passing offense since the injury to Blake Hill, and Curran would look to get his passing attack rolling on his team's opening drive. Curran would look to hit Capoletti on a quick pass in the flat, but the ball would end up in the hands of Randolph captain Paul Perkins, and the senior would take it all the way for the pick six. The passing game would settle into a groove on Milford's next possession, with Curran completing passes to Caden Kelly and Asong Amamense before hooking up with his favorite target, Capoletti, on this 12-yard strike to set up 1st and goal from the 7. Curran would eventually punch it in for the touchdown to tie the game at 6. The Curran to Capoletti connection would be on display once again later in the second quarter.
Curran rolls out to his left, throws, has a man open, and a touchdown! Jack Capoletti in the corner of the end zone. Milford has taken the lead.
On the ensuing kickoff, Milford would catch the Devils completely by surprise with this onside kick attempt. The Hawks would recover the kick, allowing their offense to come right back out onto the field. Moments later, Asong Amamense would break free for what looked to be an 11-yard touchdown run, but a holding penalty against Milford would wipe the points off the board. Milford would ultimately settle for a 39-yard field goal try, but Sean Lahane's attempt would be no good, keeping the score at 13-6. With Milford up by just one score, Randolph would look to get momentum back on their side. With just over a minute left in the half, DeMarco Durham would find Derek Revelis deep on the far sideline, and the speedy freshman would take it 43 yards to the end zone. A successful 2-point conversion would put Randolph back in front, 14-13. On the ensuing kickoff, Randolph would squib the kick to the Milford 35, where it was picked up by Chris Rivera. Rivera would find an opening, and he would take the return 42 yards to put Milford within striking distance before the half. Milford would take it down to the 1-yard line with 18 seconds to go before Harrison Bliss would get into the offensive action, notching his first rushing TD of the season. Ryan O'Toole would tack on a successful 2-point try, and that would allow Milford to head into the locker room up 21-14. After neither side was able to score in the third quarter, Milford would start out the fourth by handing off to senior captain Asong Amamense, and Asong would keep the legs churning for 18 tough yards before finally getting dragged down just shy of the goal line. Asong would have the chance to finish off the drive on the next play as he would take the 1-yard plunge into the end zone to increase the Hawks' lead. From there, Milford would really start to pour it on.
From about the 10-yard line, Curran hands off, cutting right up the middle, and he's in. Touchdown! William Pointer, nice run there, extending the Milford lead and pretty much putting this one out of reach. Now, toss back, dead ahead, in for the touchdown. Happy Thanksgiving, Jack Capoletti.
Into the end zone for the touchdown.
At 6 more of the scoreboard.
3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and 6 TDs in the game overall as the offense would put on a show to close out the year. Milford would make it back-to-back Turkey Day wins against Randolph, winning this one by a final score of 42-14.
Guys, Tiger and Nico Award, this goes to the top senior linemen, all right? And we've got some good ones, but we got a guy who's really just been a huge influence on this program. Not only that, but been a great player, and probably one of the most hard-nosed, tough guys we've ever had, I've ever been around, Ryan Gray.
Oh, yeah.
We already said this, guys, no surprise to you guys. Again, just to reiterate, great job on offense. How many touchdowns you have today? Just one?
I mean, it was two, but it's
2 touchdowns today. Great job blocking all year. Been a versatile player for us all year long. Asong Ammon Mensei. Defensive player of the game, did a great job today. Sealed the victory with a great interception. Played tough all year, had some big shoes to fill. Harrison Bliss.
I say homework, you say pays off homework! Pays off! Homework! Pays off! Family on 3, 1, 2, 3, family!
Good job, guys.
The Milford offense scored a total of 76 points in their final 2 games and closed out the season with a winning record at 6-5. Congratulations to the football team and to all of the fall sports programs. It was an exciting season and we were happy to be a part of it through our coverage here on Milford TV. So now we turn the page to the winter sports season. As always, it is a very quick turnaround for the winter programs. As a matter of fact, the swim team is preparing for a special preseason invitational this weekend. We'll have more details on that coming up in our upcoming events. Meanwhile, the rest of the winter teams are hard at work for the season to come. Earlier this week, I had a chance to catch up with girls basketball coach TJ Dolliver to get his take on the upcoming year for the Lady Hawks. Last season, TJ Dolliver took over as head coach of the girls basketball program. Coach Dolliver saw his team put together a great run to close out the season, but unfortunately the team fell just 1 win shy of advancing to the playoffs.
I'm very proud of what we did last year. We ended up 9-11. Of course, we're hoping to get to 10-10, and honestly, the main reason I would have loved to get to 10-10 was just to give these girls the experience. They haven't played in a playoff basketball game before, and but we finished really well. We won 5 out of our last 7. We needed to win 5 in a row to go 10-10, and we almost got there. So we really finished up on the season playing really good basketball, and it gives the girls confidence coming into this season, knowing how well we ended up, and hopefully we can continue that.
No longer new to the program, Coach Dolliver says preparing for this season has been much smoother than what he and the team experienced a year ago.
I found myself saying today in practice so many times, like we talked about last year, and that's the first time I can really say that. So the experience that I have, the experience that they have with me goes a long way, because now we can kind of just hit the ground running. They know my lingo, they know the defensive strategies that we want to talk about, the offensive strategies we want to talk about, and I don't have to teach them those things again. I might have to remind them on day 1, 2, and 3, but we'll be able to pick those things up a lot quicker and, like I said, perfect the minor things that really put a team over the edge.
The Lady Hawks have the luxury of returning all but 1 player from last year's team. Coach Dolliver believes the familiarity the players have with one another, along with their experience competing at the varsity level, will serve the team well once the season begins.
I've seen it in the offseason, and I've seen it even just over the first couple of days. They do a really good job offensively. They've been playing together for so long that it's just kind of fluent for them now. So we just need to kind of kick off the dust and pick up a couple things here and there and really perfect our offense and our defense for sure. One of the things that we worked on last year that we really started to get good at was our transition offense. Try to get out running our lanes and pushing the basketball, trying to get an easy shot to start the possession, and if we don't pull it back out, get a good possession. So I think the fact that the team is very deep, I have a roster of 13 girls right now, and every single one of them could see the floor, and it keeps fresh legs, and we can keep moving the basketball, and we won't get tired legs and not not push the basketball up the court, you know. So I think our transition offense is definitely something I'm looking forward to based off of how we ended the season last year.
Nicole Dahlgren and Emma Liskov each assumed the role of captain as juniors last year. Coach Dolliver added seniors Jill Burley and Christine Pye as captains heading into this season, giving the Lady Hawks a very strong quartet of leaders.
It's easy to see when you're in the gym. You know, they're the loudest ones in the gym. You know, during games or in the off season, you know, you could see them really getting the girls motivated. You know, if they're down, try to keep them up. But you know, the four of them do a really good job on and off the court. And like I said, they've been playing for years, so the entire team is really good friends. So, you know, finding a problem is difficult because, you know, they've been friends for a while. So they are very good leaders.
Among the talented players returning to the Milford squad this season is junior Kate Irwin. Kate has been turning heads around the Hockomock League since making the varsity team as a freshman, and Coach Dolliver is anxious to see how Kate can continue to take her game to new heights.
Last year, she really took over the offense. You know, when she was a freshman, I didn't get to see her that much, but she, of course, was the point guard. And she needed to learn a lot of the things that a point guard needs to know in terms of running your offense, controlling the tempo of the game. And she really picked up on those things last year. This year, we're ready to just hit the ground running with it. She already has a lot of experience with it. One of the things that we're really trying to work on this year is her shot selection. Sometimes, you know, she comes down, she puts up a good shot. Next possession, she'll put down a rushed shot. And those are the things that we're trying to perfect this year. So, you know, it gives our team better possessions, and it gives other girls on the team who are very offensively capable to put the ball in the hoop.
Another player who made it to the varsity level in her freshman season, Emily Pierre Gustavo, was forced to miss all of the 2015-16 season due to injury. Emily is back and healthy for her junior season, and Coach Dolliver is very curious to see what she will bring to the floor.
Unfortunately, I've never seen her play a basketball game, but it definitely brings a lot back. You know, it's another guard, it's another ball handler, it's another shooter. I know from her freshman year that she played well, but unfortunately haven't really got to see her play, and I've told her that, and she knows that. So without playing basketball for, you know, almost 2 years now, she's getting back into the swing of things, and I told her she's a mystery. I was like, I'm very excited to watch her play just to see what she can bring to the team.
While the girls' basketball team has not advanced to tournament play over the last several seasons, the team is not without playoff experience. This year's varsity team features 3 members of the perennial playoff contending softball team, as well as 3 players fresh off of a deep playoff run with the Lady Hawks volleyball team.
I definitely think that it will carry over. The only thing I think about in terms of that is it's a different sport and it's a different kind of hype up. You know, volleyball and softball, it's not as fast paced as basketball. So it's a different playoff atmosphere, but the competitiveness of getting ready for that game, getting up for that game, I definitely think will carry over for them. You know, hopefully that we can go at least 10-10 and get into the playoffs and get that experience.
Coach Dolliver has a lot of goals in mind for this upcoming season. Goals he hopes will lead to wins on the court, all while teaching the girls lessons and skills they can take with them beyond the game of basketball.
Our team goal in terms of wins and losses is let's make the playoffs. You know, let's try to go 10-10. Let's get into a playoff game, and anything can happen. So as a team goal, that's definitely in terms, you know, what we're looking for. What I really just look forward to, though, is just coming to practice every single day with these girls. They're all great kids. Just to be able to develop relationships with them, develop life skills, develop competitiveness, sportsmanship, you know, that's really the goal in the end. So those are the things that we definitely work on day in and day out. And then, you know what, you fix those things, you make sure those things are down, and wins will start coming your way if you start doing things the right way. So that's definitely what we look forward to.
Next week, we'll give you a sneak preview of the boys' basketball team, and after that, the games will begin. As of now, our first regular season winter sports coverage will be on Tuesday, December 13th, as the Lady Hawks basketball team hosts Kelly Rex rival King Philip. Now let's get to the details on that MHS Swimming Invitational and more in this week's upcoming events. Coming up on Saturday morning, the MHS swim program will be hosting the first annual Milford Salute to Service Relay Invitational. This preseason event is dedicated to all those who have served in the United States military. There will be a brief opening ceremony honoring servicemen and women in attendance, and the first event will be a mixed 200-meter medley relay in honor of those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in service of our country. 5 other schools from across the state will be participating along with Milford. The Salute to Service Relay Invitational takes place on Saturday, December 3rd at the MHS Pool with opening ceremonies beginning at 8:30 a.m. Admission to the event is $5 for adults, $2 for students, and it is free for all seniors and veterans. Also coming up this weekend, the Greater Milford Community Chorus will be presenting a holiday concert titled Holly Jolly Holidays. The concert will feature many of your favorite classic holiday tunes. You have 2 chances to check out the concert, with performances taking place at Milford High School on Saturday, December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday, December 4th at 1:30 p.m. Tickets to the concert are $10 at the door, and children under 12 years old receive free admission. And coming up this Sunday, the town of Milford will be holding their 30th annual Welcome Santa Parade. Once again, this local holiday staple will feature local sports teams and organizations, lit-up fire trucks, and a series of decorative holiday floats, all making their way down Main Street. The parade kicks off at 4 p.m. in front of Big Y and will wind its way down to Draper Park. If you are unable to attend the event, Milford TV will be teaming up with WMRC to provide live streaming coverage of the Santa Parade. To check out the coverage, head over to milfordtv.net or download the live stream app on your mobile device and search for Milford TV Educational. Again, the Welcome Santa Parade kicks off on Sunday, December 4th at 4 p.m. We've got a busy show in the works for you next week. We'll have footage from tonight's Citizens for Milford-sponsored tree lighting event. We'll also recap WMRC's Coolest Bartender Awards. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll continue to get you ready for winter sports with a preview of the boys' basketball team. We hope you'll join us again next week. Until then, from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coette saying have a great week. So long, everybody.